On the Trail of Monsters, Chapter We. At the edge of the world, where the ocean meets the sky, stood a man alone. His name was forgotten in the sea of time. Only a nickname remained, the Exile. 2 years ago, during a journey, his life collapsed like a house of sand. Monsters attacked his family, and the bloody beach witnessed their end. Chapter 2. Suffering and pain turned the Exile into a shadow of himself. He vowed to avenge every monster for the loss of his loved ones. With each passing day, his hatred for the unseen enemies only grew stronger, fueled by the void in his heart. He became a hunter of monsters, seeking to find and destroy each one who caused him pain. Chapter 3. On the Trail of Monsters, the Exile embarked on a long journey, following the ominous shadows of his past. Old maps and legends became his guides in the dangerous world of monsters and beasts. He penetrated forgotten ruins and dark forests, and his path was littered with the bones of his enemies. But each subsequent step brought him closer to his goal, to the place where he hoped to find true safety. Chapter 4. Among the burning cities and desolate castles, the Exile continued his search. His sword was his only companion in this merciless world. He knew that only the journey through the world could bring him true salvation and liberation from the pain of the... And finally, in one of the dark corners of Goth, 3250, he hoped to find his enemies and give them the same pain they inflicted on him. Eternal Path. The Exile carved his way through dark forest and tangled paths, leading him to new adventures and dangers. His soul was filled only with a thirst for revenge, and each step brought him closer to the moment of truth. He searched for the traces of monsters, following the ominous sunrises and sunsets in search of those who deprived him of everything. Chapter 6. Shadows of the Past. In the burning cities and merciless wastelands, the Exile encountered others like him, those who had lost everything and found the strength to continue the fight. They shared their stories of pain and torment, together paving the way through the darkness in search of hope for a better future. Encounter with destiny. In the alleys of ancient cities and forgotten dungeons, the Exile encountered secrets and riddles that led him to a fateful confrontation. With each new knowledge and experience gained, his faith in his mission only strengthened, and he continued his journey no matter what. True salvation. And finally, in a forgotten corner of Goth, 3250, the Exile met his destiny. In darkness and shadow, he entered into battle with the monsters who deprived him of everything. His sword gleamed against the backdrop of flames. His voice sounded like a fatal lightning, and he fought to the last breath, knowing that his journey was only beginning, but already carrying hope for healing and peace. Your captor, 9 teams. Victory over darkness. With a battle cry on his lips, the Exile faced the leader of the monsters, the one who stood behind the tragedy of his past. In the fire of battle, he found his true purpose and strength, which previously seemed lost. With each blow of his sword, he cast away his pain and suffering, replacing them with vengeance and just new beginning. After a long and cruel battle, the monsters were defeated, and the Exile stood on the fields of victory, surrounded by destruction and ashes. But in his eyes, there was a gleam of hope for a new beginning, the opportunity to build a new life on the ruins of the old. With the sword in his hand and memories in his heart, he embarked on a new journey, ready to face the challenges of the future and finally find his place in this world. Chapter 11. Although his family was lost, the memory of them lived in his heart, reminding him of the value of life and the power of love. He vowed to keep their memory in his soul and continue to fight for a bright future, free from darkness and evil. And now, with every step he took, he carried not only his pain but also hope for a better tomorrow. Endless journey. And so the monster hunter embarked on an endless journey, meeting new friends and enemies, defeating darkness and uncovering the secrets of this world. His story became a legend, told by the campfire on long winter nights, and his name became a symbol of hope and strength for all those who found themselves on the brink of despair. Homecoming. And finally, as his journey came to an end, the Exile returned home, carrying his victories and defeats with him. In his eyes shone the light of hope and perseverance, and he knew that his adventures were just beginning. Standing once again at the edge of the world, he looked to the future with confidence and determination, ready to face all the challenges that the new day would bring.